skin of the behemoth and so on. So and that's a malacha tzeveh. Dying is impermissible on Shabbos. So Tosfos says right there on that Gemara in Shabbos, Tosfos says Ashoichet Almakol. That when the Gemara says Sheichet Chayv Mishum Tzeveh, the Gemara is not talking about the Shoichet that it says in the Mishnah, the Malach of Shoichet that it says in the Mishnah, because it lists Tzeveh and the Mishnah also. So it can't be that the Shoichet that it says in the Mishnah is just referring to the Malach of Tzeveh. But it means Shoichet the Alma. It means in the world, if it happens in the world that somebody shechts Tzeveh on Shabbos, Lamaisi is over because of Tzeveh. So they say this from Moshe, but also with Mittal Gaz that he said Shoichet Chayv Mishum Tzeveh, Shoichet the Alma, that it's going on the one who shechts up the world, meaning the who Satan, who Malach Mavsu Yetzirah. It's going on the Satan who causes all these problems. The Shoichet the Alma shechts up the world. He's Chayv Mishum Tzeveh. You could say, why should the Satan be punished for everything he did? After all, he was doing the work of God. After all, he's doing the work of God because he's there to test us and to provide us with temptation so that we can serve God. So why should he be punished? So, because he's tzeveh, he's a hypocrite, or because he colors things. If he would just come to us and try to seduce us to do good things, bad things, evil things, just by saying it's fun to do evil things, that would be one thing. But he's tzeveh, but he fakes it, he colors things, he tells us that the evil is good. That's why it's chayv. He tells us that the evil is good, so that's kind of like what the Gra is saying here, that the taiva is worse because since it's the toiv shebara, it's the good and evil, the desire is worse than the anger and the murderousness. Since it's the good and evil, it leads a person to be seduced. And the comments on the bottom, I'm sorry?
It sounds like it's not just that the evil looks good, but from the language says the evil there is really good there.
I think it's true.
It's not merely in the
No, I think that you're right. I think that's what he means, that the love in its source is good. But the Torah forbids this thing, and the Torah doesn't want you to come to the love through this thing. Because it's good. He starts off like that. The taiva desire, even illicit desire, is the good and evil. Even illicit desire is the good and evil. So it really is good, b'shoirish. At its source, it's good. However, the Torah forbade it. Since the Torah forbade it, you're not permitted to go the way. Because the Torah forbade it, and you're not permitted to go the way, the toiv shebara, the good and evil, is particularly deleterious. It's particularly dangerous because it could seduce you because of the good which it does in fact have. And I think you're correct when the guy on the bottom says, who wrote these comments, Agoyas, that really it seems from here that kas is really worse than taiva. That anger and murderousness are to be seen as really worse than desire and so on. But it's just that taiva is more dangerous because it's more seductive. But in terms of the evil, this is toiv shebara, and this is not shebara. This is toiv shebara, and this is not shebara. This is the good and evil, and this is the evil and evil.
That's what happened in the Parsha a couple of weeks ago when Balak sent the Midianite women to seduce Bnei Israel, and then they brought a plague there. And
Well said, well said.
Now with Balak, Balak just wanted to, what is it? Mitzrayim, they just wanted to oppress the Jews. And so, but with the Midianites, they took revenge on them because seducing them is even worse.
Okay, that's all well said. That fits in very well with what's being said right now. It fits in very well with what's being said right now. So basically, I have a hunch that there's something going on here. And I don't have enough proof to it, but I have some evidence. Basically, I think that now, you see, we said this thing from the Gra, from the Gaon of Vilna, that he also goes in this direction, the way that Reb Tzadok went, and it says that kas is ra shebara and taiva is toiv shebara, that anger and murderousness represent, so to speak, in a certain way, a pure evil, whereas taiva, lust, desire, represents the good in the realm of evil. But right away, he, so to speak, fixes it and says, but that only makes it worse, that only makes it worse. But Reb Tzadok doesn't really fix it. I'm coming with all these shtiklach to show that Reb Tzadok likes to go that way, and likes to emphasize how in a basic way, kas, anger, and murderousness, that side of things is a greater evil, a worse evil, and than the evils of sins of the flesh and sins which are based on desire and lust and so on. So I think drawing out now, I didn't bring any evidence to bear from the writings of the Meir Shiloach Ishbitz himself, but Reb Tzadok was his Talmud, his great disciple. So I have a hunch, I think that it goes like this, that basically when they go at things, playing off the contrast between the way that Vitebska understands the shtickle, where Pinchas becomes the great antinomian hero, and the way the Ishbitz understands the shtickle, where Zimri and Cosby are the great antinomian heroes, that I think that the Ishbitz thing, the way they go is that basically, look, Shaul HaMelech, he didn't want to kill Agag, even though God commanded him to kill. But he didn't want to kill, so we'll find a way to defend him. He didn't want to kill, so we'll find a way to defend him. Even though God commanded him to kill. But they like it when somebody refused to kill, they're going to find a way to defend him. Pinchas killed, even though he killed seemingly in accordance with the will of God. It's Kanoim Poidboy, that's when the Allah came. But he killed, so we'll try to find a way to bash him. Zimri and Cosby, they committed, they sinned, they violated the will of God, but it was a sin of love. It was a sin of love. They engaged in illicit relations, so we'll find a way to defend them. I think it goes like that. Based on what I'm saying, I think in Ishbitz the tendency is like that. That they, although of course Reb Tzadok says that in different situations, different midas are appropriate and so on, and midas of gvura are appropriate in certain circumstances. I think that the tendency in Ishbitz, the Ishbitz Cheder, is like that. That they like to look at the source of the sin, and they like to say that that the sin that comes from the right side, that it's not so bad, and after all it's rooted in good because it comes from love, and even the good deed that comes from the left side is even the good deed that's a matter of killing and so on, killing and aggression, they might try to denigrate it in some way, and if someone didn't do what he had to do, and when what was required of him was to commit violence in the name of God, they might find a way to defend them and so on. I think the dichotomy is working like that. I don't have shtickl from the Ishbitz, and maybe I don't have enough shtickl from Tzaddik. If anyone would help me with this, I would appreciate it. I have a hunch that it works like this.
But with Cosby, her motive was to destroy Bnei Israel by taking part in. How can you say it was out of love? Her thing was to kill. Was to kill Bnei Israel.
Yeah, I understand
or lust or whatever. It was on her part. She had a different motive.
Yeah, if you look at it like that, you look at it like that. But of course, it will take a lot of interpretation, and they, in terms of this interpretation, they believe that on a deeper level there was something else going on, and it was tikkunim, and they really meant something else, and it's not like the simple understanding of the pasuk. If you go with the simple understanding of the pasuk, then forget it. This whole approach, this whole interpretation is based on not understanding the pasuk. You understand? Not understanding the pasuk. So literally, I understand that it's very difficult. I'm putting it forth because it is written in holy books.
No, it's just two people come together.
I understand that it's very difficult,
and that's one thing. But her motive was to make him bow to an idol.
I understand, but they we'll talk about it later. It's a very different interpretation of the whole story.
Isn't it simplistic to simply say that Shaul, why God told him what to do? He was an Arachid. Why did he do it? Is it simply that he sinned?
I agree with you, and we've been over this point a number of times. Ultimately, none of these answers are really satisfying, because if Shaul HaMelech was so great, and he was so great, he was Bechir Hashem, he was chosen by God to be the king of Israel, how could he just disobey the will of God in this way, in this blatant way? I don't have any good answer. I know that all these answers don't really work philosophically, but this is what is written in books. These are approaches that have been offered. These are approaches that have been offered. And I just want to finish by getting back to one of the big things that I hacked about last time was that Chassidim and Misnag